Yes, very much. I feel very part of the continent and its culture and its lifestyle and its values. So although I'm both British and English, I'm also comfortable to call myself a European. Well, that must have been back when I was late teenager, and I went across the Channel for my first holiday, my first trip to northern France, and I just loved everything about it. I loved the food, the ambiance, the drinks, the people. It seemed both different and familiar, and it was an allure that never left me. I continue to return to Europe, still do. The worst moment in recent European history, well, if we're fast forwarding beyond 1945 and the horrors of the Second World War, it has to be, for me, I'm afraid, Britain's decision narrowly to leave the European community. I still believe that was a fundamentally flawed, retrograde and damaging step that I hope one day can be reversed. Well, that came during the Velvet Revolution in Czechoslovakia, the end of a long period of communist rule. I'm old enough to remember 1968, I was 17, when Alexander Dubček led the Prague Spring that raised so many hopes in that wonderful year. But I also was there when he returned to Wenceslas Square in the centre of Prague and was hailed by crowds of tens of thousands of people. And for me to witness that was really something special. I felt at that moment that Europe had come full circle. The crushing disappointment of 1968 had been reversed, and a better, brighter, more humane future beckoned for the continent. Well, this is a bit like what have the Romans ever done for us? But seriously, I think it was that ability to travel freely. Post-Schengen, when it became a continent without borders for EU citizens. You could show your passport at Dover, and then you could travel pretty much right across to the eastern frontier without ever having to identify yourself or go through a checkpoint again. So there was that wonderful freedom to travel, and also, although I never took advantage of it personally, I was very comforted by the whole freedom to work and to live in our nearest continent. Well, I think you can guess my answer is pretty simple and straightforward. I would most like it to have achieved to welcome Great Britain back in as a member state to play its full part in the continent where we really belong.